I sold my soul to the devil on Valentine's Day. Story time. 2019.
I buy myself a Valentine's Day card every year to save my life. My town believes...
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just...
I sold my soul to the devil on Valentine's Day. Story time. 2019 ended off as a pretty bad year for me because I had just called off a 6 years long engagement. The man I was engaged to really loved me, but 6 years was too long and I felt like it was finally time to call it quits. Aside that, this man never cheated on me, he treated me well, but he was broke and wasn't ready to settle down and I was really tired of waiting. At the beginning of 2020, I decided to open myself up and start posting a lot more on social media. And since my Facebook and Instagram are connected, every time I would post a picture on Instagram, it would go directly to my Facebook, and this is where I met this man who we'll call Zach. Zach introduced himself as a guy who I went with to school. But since I did not remember much about Zach, he told me high school memories that only a person who was at my school would remember. So because of this, I ended up believing him. This memory was just not a regular memory. It was a memory of my 10th grade teacher who was pregnant and fell to the floor. So I know if he was able to remember this, he was definitely my classmate. Zach and I started to talk on almost a daily basis, and he requested on many occasions that we should meet. I was tempted, but I couldn't meet a stranger, and I told him the only way I would meet him was in a public place where I would feel safe enough to meet someone who I didn't quite remember from my school. He agreed and we proceeded to talking for almost 2 months, and the month that followed after was Valentine's. In the 2 months that we spoke, not once did I meet Zach. All we did was share pictures, and Zach was a fine looking man. It was as though God was about to answer all my failed prayers because Zach was not only handsome, he was very rich, which was everything that I ever wanted. Not that I wanted a share of Zach's money, nor did I want my ex to be extremely rich. All I wanted was a man that was stable enough to marry me and settle down with me, and the only way that was possible is that if the man had money. Because of how quickly Valentine's was coming at us, we agreed that that was the perfect opportunity to meet in public. So Zach sent me money to do my nails and get my hair done. He agreed that we would go on a date at a named restaurant, and he told me to dress appropriately for the day. I got my hair and my nails done, and on the 14th of February, Zach sent flowers over to my place. These flowers weren't shocking because I had sent Zach my location the previous day, which he had requested for, and he promised that he wouldn't come to my place without my consent. All he wanted was to send over something for the morning of Valentine's. So, when the designated time came around, which was 9 p.m, I got ready and got onto a cab to go to wherever he was going. I preferred not to drive this day because it was late at night and my vision at night is quite bad, so it only made sense that I would book a cab. Zach told me that the dress code was either red, black, or anything with a dull color that's not white or pink. And since we all know that the color of love is red, it only made sense that I would be in a red dress. While I was heading to the designated location, Zach texted me that the place was fully booked, so we had to change venues, and I was okay with it. I mean, I was so ready to meet Zach for the very first time. Zach forwarded me the new location, and it was an apartment that I very well love, so everything was just aligning for my good. I got to the location and the place was very well decorated in red. Everything was in roses, red candles, and the room was really dark. As for the sake of illustration, the room was set up in such a way that when you walk in, you have a trail of candles, and at the end of that trail, the candles form a circle, and in the middle of that circle is a bigger candle. Though this place was dark and all the lights were off, the candles were bright enough to show you just where to walk so that you could go to the center part, because there was nowhere else to go after you reached the center, because the big candle in the middle was surrounded by small candles in the side. So once you walk into the middle path, you would separate and make a circle, and in the middle of that circle was the candle that I mentioned. So the only possible place to stand was at the middle of that candle. The best way to explain this room is that the room looked very ready for an engagement or a proposal. Though shocking and scary because of how dark this place was, and it seemed like I was alone, I was still enjoying the entire show because it just showed that Zach was a very romantic man. I stood in that circle until I realized that Zach had been sitting in the corner of the room the entire time. He looked like he was admiring whatever he was seeing in me, of course, and I was equally admiring whatever I could see in him. We smiled at each other and Zach walked up to me and he joined me in the circle that I was standing in. After Zach and I had said hi to each other, he requested that we sit down because I was wondering why, though this was an apartment, there was no bed. The only chair that was in the room was the one that Zach had sat on, so I knew definitely we were not sitting on one chair. He told me that we should sit down and that he had planned that we have an indoor picnic type of date. He mentioned also that he wanted the date to be as casual as possible so that he wouldn't get intimidated easily because he's a shy man, according to his explanation. At that point, all my green flags are obviously so high because I'm thinking, oh my god, this guy put so much thought into this date, and I just became so happy that I was present in that moment. Until I heard the door open and it was a bunch of men wearing white attire that Zach had told me not to dress up in. These men were 7 in total and they walked in a single file in the same chair that I took when I was walking to the middle part of the whole decoration thing, and they looked dead serious. As they drew closer, though I couldn't see everything, they looked like they were dressed in boo-boo dresses and the atmosphere in the room suddenly changed. So I was looking back and forth from Zach to them, wondering if someone was going to tell me something, and Zach was quiet as if he's in obedience of the people that had just walked in, and he started to bow towards the big candle that was in the middle of us. In that moment alone, it felt like I was attending a ritual, even before I could hear anything more. Since I was sitting, Zach requested that I should be on my knees. I couldn't even argue because I was literally trembling. As I was kneeling down just like he had requested, I finally gathered some courage to ask him who were the other people joining us in the room. And with the coldest voice, Zach told me that he wins souls for the devil in order to keep up with his life. I have never been more scared in my life. I couldn't even question him any further because these people had already approached where we were sitting and they had actually surrounded us, saying nothing at all, and they started chanting words, so I couldn't even have the chance to say anything else to Zach. Whatever these men were chanting was starting to get so loud that I was getting worried that maybe other people from other rooms would hear us, and if they came, they would find me in this awkward situation. As soon as I was thinking that, one of the odd men replied to me as though he could hear my thoughts and told me that we were not actually in a physical place, we were in a spiritual realm, and these apartments were simply being used as a portal because they belong to their society. I really believe in that moment alone, I peed in my pants. Zach also started to apologize and say that he was sorry that he never informed me initially and that we never actually went to the same school. It was all a lie because he needed to win a soul and that he had sacrificed all his family members. Up next was people he was dating or his friends. But then I was thinking to myself, him and I were not even dating at this point, we were simply talking. At this point, it was as if they could hear everything I was thinking, and immediately that thought was done, Zach answered and responded because he knew that I had interests and I really expected that we would start dating on that day. It validated his sacrifice. Everything that happened after that was a blur, but at the end of the night, I was back home sleeping in my bed. That night alone, I dreamt that I had gotten married to Zach and that we were sharing the same bed. Though it was a dream, I could very much feel Zach's presence in my room. I woke up several times on that night to pray and cancel whatever that had just happened that was a blur to me, but I remember going to that place with Zach. I don't know if that too was a dream or it actually happened in real life, but regardless of what that was, I still have the chats that I had with Zach. I just can't trace him anymore. His contacts do not go through, and every single night that I go to bed, I feel his presence. It's as if that dream that I had of a wedding meant that Zach and I had spiritually gotten married. I have since gone to pastors and tried to pray, but the presence of Zach has never left me. And since that day, I have hated Valentine's and I would never celebrate it. That's the story from our good sis. What would you do in her situation? Because she says she's gone to all pastors and she has done everything that's physically possible to stop seeing or feeling the presence of Zach. Our good sis believes that she was initiated into Satanism on that day. From my Zach and I.
You heard of the Cupid curse? I've never been a fan of love. In fact, I've always scoffed at the idea. Career over love, that's what I've always said. Relationships seem like a trap and I'm not about to fall into it. But the other night, a stranger stopped in my shop. At the time, I didn't think anything of it, another just odd character. But there was something about this guy. He wasn't tall or particularly handsome in any way, shape, or fashion. There was actually something almost unsettling about him. And his eyes just weren't right. They were unnaturally sharp, like he could see right through me. Like my every thought was exposed to him, and I felt vulnerable. When he first entered, he was walking around and he didn't say much. He was just like touching a few shelves. He honestly looked like he was searching for something. Then his eyes locked on me and he seemed to freeze. You have it. I wasn't sure what he was talking about, so I was like, have what? The artifact, the one you keep hidden behind the counter. But I didn't keep any artifacts hidden behind the counter. There were no relics or treasures. And then I remembered, I do actually have something. I had this intricately carved necklace that my aunt had given me. She had told me to hide it, and it was a family heirloom. I had no idea why she wanted me to keep it hidden, but I just done it because she insisted. I told the guy I don't know what he was talking about, but he just smiled again and said, I think you do. He moved toward the corner. I was scared and nervous. I didn't know what this guy wanted with my necklace, so I froze. He reached behind the counter and opened the drawer where the necklace was, like he knew it was there. He held the necklace out to me in his hand. I need this, he said. I asked him why, and what he responded with was the weirdest thing ever. I'll make you a deal, he almost whispered. You give me this, and I'll give you the understanding of true love, which some people can only dream of. Go to part 2. Someone told you that they can guarantee your true love, but you have to give away a family heirloom. What would you choose? Part 2, if you missed part 1, go back and watch that. Who did this man think he is offering that? Like he's Cupid, the god of love? It seemed ridiculous, but he also made me wonder because it was obviously tempting. Whatever, it's just a necklace. I handed it to him. Then he did the most wicked smile I've ever seen in my life and said, you won't regret this. Then he walked away. I buy myself a Valentine's Day card every year to save my life. My town believes in a Valentine's Day monster. I've been single my entire life. I really don't mind it. It's just how I've always been. And yet I still buy a Valentine's Day card every single year, and that simple thing saves my life. I moved to this new town right before high school. It was difficult moving to a new school and trying to make all new friends at the same time. By the time February rolled around, I felt like I was finally starting to get into the groove of things. I had only made a handful of friends, and to my shock, the first time I was ever asked out on a date was 1 week before Valentine's Day. I felt awkward going out with someone that I had never spoken to before, so I turned them down. They got really mad and claimed they were just being nice. I thought their reaction was really bizarre because we'd never spoken before. So I asked my friend Travis about it, and he says in the most casual way ever, oh yeah, you die if you're single on Valentine's Day. What? He goes on to explain that you get your heart ripped out by this Valentine's Day monster. I thought he was just playing a joke on me because I'm the new kid, but he was looking at me like I was crazy for not knowing about the whole dying thing. I told him he was crazy, and he looked at me and said, no, this happens every year. Someone gets their heart ripped out. It might not be like in this town, but it'll be nearby. And it's always someone single. I mean, you can risk it, but why would you? Now, this was before everyone had cell phones in their pocket, so I couldn't just look it up to see if this was true, but I made a note, I'll research this later. For the next 10 minutes, I then roasted his idea of there being a Valentine's Day monster because that's ridiculous. Then I started to notice that everyone in school was suddenly dating someone. Like, there were a lot of people that were dating before, but now everyone was dating someone. And I started to wonder if everyone was aware of this Valentine's Day monster rumor. And I was even asked out quite a few times out of pity. But I refused because this whole thing was just ridiculous. Valentine's Day was coming up, and I'm not a Valentine's Day hater. My school was one of those schools that sells Valentine's stuff that can be delivered to your classes, and I did buy me and my friends some Valentine's Day chocolate. I shoved them into my backpack, but I forgot about them until Valentine's Day was over. Now, I really wish I would have taken the whole thing a little bit more seriously. It wasn't until the night before Valentine's Day that I decided to look up the murders.
Okay, y'all, since it's Valentine's Day, I feel like this is the perfect time to tell my story. This is going to be who the F did I spend Valentine's with? Since everybody doing it. But here's my story. I had met this guy probably like Christmas of 2022. My homegirl had dragged me out the house. I was actually working at night, and my homegirl, like, she dragged me, like, out the house or whatever, because I was working from home at the time. So we went to like down in Pompano. I don't know if y'all from Broward, but like in Pompano they be having like block parties. Now we be having block parties on the holiday. So he had one in Kaya City. So we was riding through that whatever, and I was trying to leave because I'm trying to get back because I'm at work, y'all. Yes, at that time I was working. I literally like signed out of my phone and I went to go hang out on the blocks. So ghetto. I mean, said y'all really bad. But okay, so I had signed out and we was like trying to leave because I'm like, I need to get back home. Like, we finna hang out. Let me go sign out so we can hang out all the way. So we was about to go back home, but we had got in traffic, so we went in this plaza, and it was this dude in this car. I thought he was trying to holler at my homegirl, but he was trying to holler at me. So I ended up getting his number, whatever the case may be. Like, we started talking, whatever, we went out New Year's. I had ended up, like, on New Year's Eve, going into New Year's, I had ended up getting, like, my makeup and stuff done. And we went out or whatever for New Year's. He like, we went all the way to Miami. The mom wanted to go to a club in Pompano, so we drove all the way back to Pompano. Like, he drove me back to Pompano, then we made that club. But like, it was the vibes. Like, chilling with him, vibing with him was amazing. Like, I loved it. Like, overly loved it. here go the part, y'all. So we was kicking it or whatever, and Valentine's Day was coming up, and I'm like, so what's tea? Like, is we finna do Valentine's Day together or whatever? He was like, yeah. So I was like, well, I'm finna see what I want for Valentine's Day. So I had sent him some stuff. One of the things I had sent was a Pandora necklace. It's not this one. It was a rose gold Pandora necklace I really wanted. That's really the only thing I really wanted. And then we had end up planning together to get an Airbnb together, and we were just gonna like exchange our like gifts or whatever that we had got for each other. So end up getting the Airbnb. We was supposed to bust the Airbnb down. I know for y'all girls who finna come at me like, bust it down, what? It's Valentine's Day. Yes, we were supposed to bust the Airbnb down. I feel like we kind of just only met like 2 months ago. So it's like, not even 2 months. Like, I was like, that's a little bit, too much or whatever. So we were supposed to bust the Airbnb down. I end up paying for everything. He was like, oh, I'm gonna pay you back, whatever. So, all right, I'm okay, whatever. Airbnb paid. Now, it's like a little backstory to it. Like, when me and him would hang out, his baby mama would blow his phone down. Yes, he had a baby mama, 2 daughters. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying was, when we would like hang out and stuff like that, because we used to hang out till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And when we would hang out, his baby mama would always blow his phone down. And I just never understood, like, why she keep blowing your phone down. He'd be like, oh, she always do that. She just don't want me to move on with nobody. Da-da-da. You know how dudes do when they go and they bash their baby mamas, but they still be dealing with their baby mamas. Y'all know how they go. So he just bashed baby mama. So in my brain, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe she just mad at it. But a part of me kind of still was like suspicious, y'all. Like, suspicious. Like, because the time she would call, we was doing what normal people do. And she blowing the phone down. Like, girl, what's tea? Like, you keep calling him, I'm with him. Like, what's good? Or whatever. So comes Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl Sunday. I went and I got my hair done. I got me a blonde wig. I did my makeup. We was I was hanging in the hood with him on Super Bowl or whatever the case may be. So we was hanging and we was chilling. The vibe was good. He had one. He want some money. He gave me some money. Like, okay, yeah, like, we was hanging good, whatever the case may be. And the next day, we was supposed to go to the Airbnb. This one we was checking. This was day before Valentine's Day. I think Super Bowl was the 12th. We was going to the Airbnb that Monday on the 13th, and Valentine's Day was that Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, February 14th. So here comes Monday. I went to work. I got off. All my stuff was packed. Went down to the Airbnb. Now, keep in mind, y'all, remember I told y'all I was very, 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 very suspicious. Like, I felt like something was going on. Like, I couldn't, like, my discernment, now I see my discernment, was telling me, like, something was going on with this man. Like, and his baby mama, I could not shake it. So when we was driving, and he was drinking, y'all, and he get drunk easy. He like, he like, he in his 30s. So he used to get drunk real fast. So when he was typing in his code in his phone, I seen it. Tell me why the man code was 0000.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Hi, y'all. So when I seen the code, got him. Drewski, what Drewski say? Got him. I knew I had him. So we get to the Airbnb, we check in, we looking around, we recording, we taking our little videos and stuff, and he was sleepy because he was drinking wine. So he fell asleep. I was still like getting stuff together, whatever the case may be. Yeah, went through that phone, seen all them text messages, y'all. He was in there texting his baby mama, I love you. You can't move on. You got me messed up if you think you're finna get another dude. Man, the whole shebang. Wait for part 2 for me to tell y'all what I did when I found this. Like, keep in mind, this is the day before Valentine's Day. We already in the Airbnb and everything, and Airbnb in his name. Yeah.
Mia sat alone at a candlelit table in an upscale restaurant, her red dress glowing softly under the warm lights. The air was filled with laughter and soft jazz, couples toasting to love. She glanced at her phone, her heart skipping as a message popped up. "Almost there, babe. I have a surprise for you." She giggled to herself, nerves and excitement mingling. The waiter placed a glass of champagne before her. She took a slow sip, her eyes flickering to the entrance in anticipation. Minutes passed, then more. She fidgeted, checked her phone again, 8:15 p.m. A shadow moved beyond the glass doors. Her smile froze. David entered, but he wasn't alone. His fingers were interlaced with another woman's. Sophia, a stunning brunette in a sleek black dress. Mia's breath caught. Her grip on the champagne glass tightened. She ducked slightly behind the menu, her pulse hammering in her ears. David pulled out a chair for Sophia, leaning in, murmuring something that made her laugh. A waiter approached their table, setting down a heart-shaped cake. "Happy Valentine's Day, my love." Mia's hands trembled as she snapped a picture. She swallowed hard, forcing steady fingers to type. "Maya. Where are you?" David. "Still stuck at work, babe. I hate that I can't be there. Rain check?" Her vision blurred with rage as David fed Sophia a bite of cake, their fingers brushing. Her chest ached, breath shallow. Instead of calling, she typed one last message. "Look up." Across the restaurant, David pulled out his phone. He read the text. His brows furrowed. Then, slowly, he lifted his head. His eyes locked onto Mia's. Her fury burned through him like fire. The world around them fell silent. Mia stood abruptly, knocking over her glass. The clatter silenced nearby tables. All eyes turned to her. David stiffened as she marched toward him. "Mia, I can explain." The slap rang through the restaurant. Gasps echoed. "Explain. You were just at work, right? Too busy to be with me, but not too busy to wine and dine her?" Sophia recoiled, confused. "David, what is she talking about?" Mia's hand trembled as she threw her phone onto the table. The screen lit up, proof of betrayal captured in pixels. Sophia's face twisted in realization. She turned to David, her expression darkening. David's
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win Game of Chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys. So enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.